Have you ever wondered what it's like to be an undercover journalist on one of Britain's best-loved soap operas? Well, joining me today is our undercover journalist and lovely junior writer, Louisa Riley, one of my brilliant colleagues. Louisa is going to tell us exactly what it's like to do that because that is what she did a few weeks ago. Now, Louisa, do you want to just start off by telling us in this very special bonus episode of Soap Scoop what's just happened in Hollyoaks, which led to this amazing little journey you went on?
Yeah, absolutely. So in Hollyoaks this week, we have seen Jez kill a fan. And to get to be that fan, there was a competition that involved thousands of applications, but only 9 people who got to travel to Liverpool and compete essentially on set at Hollyoaks to be the #1 superfan.
It was when because we went up and did a Hollyoaks shoot, didn't we, in the summer for our awards? And we had a little joke with Hollyoaks and we said, oh, Louisa's like a massive Hollyoaks super fan. She'd love to do this competition, but she's a journalist, so she can't really do it. It's not fair to the other competitors. And then what happened?
Well, then, I found out that essentially you'd been in a little email with Hollyoaks, and they'd basically asked if I would like to come and do a sort of traitors style undercover journalist thing as part of the competition, which was really exciting and crazy, and it was quite scary to find out because I've never done anything like that before. But yeah, so then we got the news about that, and they essentially told us that they wanted me to be part of. I couldn't compete and have the chance to win because I was a journalist and I hadn't applied, but I could be there as part of one of the trials, I guess, for the super fans.
Right. So tell us exactly what the mission was and why you chose to accept it.
Yeah, so my mission essentially was to go totally undercover amongst these fans to be the 10th person essentially with a fake name, fake job, a total new identity essentially. And to say I had to trick them into thinking that I wasn't a journalist, but also I had to sort of arouse some suspicion because the thing basically was that they had to guess after, a morning of discussion who was the journalist amongst them. And whoever won would get points to take through to the next round of the competition. So that really put you at an advantage if you did guess that it was me. So yeah, I was sort of told don't be like too good because we don't want no one to guess because it feels kind of pointless. But we want you to be, as convincing as you can be and convince them that you are a Hollyoaks super fan just like them.
So you did this over 2 days, didn't you? You travelled up the day before. Was that just to sort of integrate yourself on the set with like the actors who were involved in it?
Yeah, essentially. So I travelled up on the Tuesday, got there, and immediately Charlie Wernham was there, who obviously plays Robbie Roscoe, R.I.P. Robbie, because he was hosting the whole competition. So I got to watch him do, presenting and stuff, which was crazy. He was like, he was being very Claudia Winkleman. It was all very cool. And then, I got to meet him and he said, like, he was like, God, like, it's going to be really hard pretending like we've never met before tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, it is. And it was really weird because my fake name was Siobhan Meldon. And I said that I was a bartender. And like all day on the Tuesday, all the crew, all of Hollyoaks is like, press team, digital team, everybody was just calling me Siobhan because they were like, if we call you Louisa now, we're going to call you Louisa by mistake tomorrow. And it felt kind of weird because you help somebody with something and they'd be like, thanks, Siobhan. And I was like, it's not my name. But it felt like really strange. I can't explain it. Like it felt almost like, oh, yeah, I guess. I don't know. It was very weird. But yeah, so I did some filming with Charlie Wernham on that Tuesday and we had a lot of fun, a lot of banter. We watched the application videos from the 9 fans and reacted to that, which was probably the highlight of that day, I would say. It was really fun.
So then what happened? Did you go back and stay in a hotel and was that with all the other contestants?
Yeah, which was really, really scary because obviously my biggest like fear with this whole thing was that I was gonna like totally blow it before we'd even got on camera, and then there would literally be like I'd have like ruined it for Hollyoaks. It was like my nightmare situation, really. So I went back and stayed in the same hotel as them to sort of avoid suspicion because the next morning we were all traveling to the Hollyoaks set together. Luckily I didn't see any of them in like the hallway or in the hotel bar or anything because I was like, if I engage in conversation before we're even on camera, I'm like doomed. So I didn't see any of the fans actually till the next morning. We had a meeting point where the cars were going to collect us all to take us to Hollyoaks, and that was when I met them for the very first time.
That really does sound like the traitors, doesn't it? When they all get into their car.
It was exactly like, it was like genuinely exactly like that, because in the same way that, they weren't suspicious about anything, they hadn't been told that there was going to be anybody undercover, they hadn't been told there was going to be anything about, what they were supposed to be doing to compete. So when I was there, they weren't suspicious at all, but I was like scoping them out the whole time. It was like quite weird.
Now, I've seen some pictures because we have written a feature about this in the magazine. And for all the pictures, like, please do pick it up because it's a really great read of like undercover Hollyoaks. But so you were all on set, weren't you? And you were just having to play the game and go along with it. And there was a bit of a twist, wasn't there? Because it turns out there was someone you knew.
Yeah. So it was crazy because obviously I'm from Newcastle, and before, actually getting there, Hollyoaks, that the team had mentioned to me, oh, one of the fans is from Newcastle. We'll hope that you don't know each other, and would looked on my Facebook, my mom's Facebook, like would really would really been trying to make sure that I don't know like this lady. And I didn't think I did until the day of, when it transpired after some conversation that her husband taught me at primary school for like years. He took us to swimming galas, he took us to like English competitions. I was in his pantomime. Like I was just like, oh. So I really panicked then and thought that my cover might get blown, because she was like, "Oh, tell me your name and he'll know you." And I was just like, Siobhan, not my name. But yeah, so that was a bit of a curveball that did throw us off a little bit. And what a mad coincidence as well.
I know. What are the chances? So then tell me, was anyone close to figuring you out?
So one person did figure me out in the end. So it was after this whole discussion, there was people saying, "Oh, let's get up our social media profiles, let's get up our work emails, like to prove it's not us." And that was freaking me out because I had no way to prove that I was, I had no fake profiles. We'd sort of discussed whether I should make them or not, but you can't really make a convincing fake profile at the last minute. So ultimately there was a lot of like back and forth of how they're figuring this out, but nobody really seemed to suspect me at all. One guy was even like, "Oh, imagine if it's Siobhan," and I was like, haha, yeah, but it was me. So I was kind of offended a bit. I was like, yeah, imagine that would be so crazy if it was me. Like,
You come across as very innocent in real life.
I think it was more ditzy. I think that was more what he was like, "It would just be so funny if it was you." And I was like, God, yeah, that would be hilarious. And I wasn't even acting. So that was, was like, I can't act like how offended I am right now, because then I would give the game away. But in the end, one person did guess it was me, but she very much kept her cards close to her chest, and she didn't, in the group discussion, she didn't even say that she thought it was me. That was very traitors.
Oh, amazing. And you have got another story, haven't you, where you ran into Gemma Bissix, who plays Claire, who we've spent a bit of time with in the last few months because she did the awards shoot. She came to the Inside Soap Awards and is just an absolute gem to be around, pardon the pun.
Yeah.
Tell us me about that.
Yeah, so on the day before, the day that I was filming with Charlie on the Tuesday, before any of the superfans arrived, I was in just the office at Hollyoaks, ready to leave really. And then she comes into the office, sees me, and is like, "Oh my gosh," runs over, gives me a big hug, and was like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I'm undercover." And then obviously I explained everything to her, and she was like, "Well, thank God that you ran into me today, because if it had been tomorrow, I totally would have blown your cover." And she was like, later at our award, she was like, "I think it was fate that I ran into you on that Tuesday, because otherwise I would have totally, the whole thing would have been ruined if she'd seen me in front of the super."
Oh,
That
God.
was a real stroke of good luck there, I think.
That's so funny. I mean, we were getting emails from the press team throughout the couple of days telling us that you were doing such a good job immersing yourself in the role of Siobhan,
Yeah.
that they were really, really impressed by it. So tell me about, I mean, did you have to tell any really wild lies beyond what you'd been given?
Yeah, so the day before, me and Charlie had sort of workshopped a few lies of what I should say. So there was a few ideas. It was like, should we say that there's a town called Hollyoaks in like Boston or somewhere? Should we say I'm from there? Should we say that I met Nick Picard as a child and that's what got me into Hollyoaks? There was all these things that we were like, maybe I should say this, maybe I should say that. What is too far fetched? And in the end, I said that I nearly got a tattoo dedicated to Claire Devine, before I chickened out. I think I did say that I met Nick Pickard as a child as well. Because everybody else seemed to have met Hollyoaks, you know, like cast before, because obviously they're super fans. So I was like, I need to, invent this. So I said, yeah, I think I said met Nick Pickard, and that I nearly got, it was a red high heel tattoo dedicated to Claire Devine, and everyone just believed it, which is crazy. Like, it was kind of fun because I was like, what can I say? Can I just say anything? And everybody will just be like, yeah, sure. I don't know.
Did you feel guilty? Because once you kind of made friends with people, did you feel guilty?
I did. I felt really guilty when the moment where Charlie was like, right, the journalists stand up, my heart was like pounding out of my chest. Like the whole time that we had whiteboards and we had to show our guesses of like who we thought it was. And that whole time when it was like, okay, there's literally a minute before you have to like stand up and reveal it to you, I felt so bad because it really obviously we'd spent the whole day together, we'd all had breakfast together, we'd had lunch together, we'd had the car ride together, plus all the stuff that was on camera. And it was really like, I'd really made everybody had really bonded, I think. And then like you could tell that they were all bonding with each other too. So for me to be like the outlier and the one who's lying, I actually did feel really bad. And I don't think they really took it that well.
Oh no! What did they say?
No, they were all just not in a bad way, where like they were all just like very outraged. I feel like everybody when I stood up was really like and then like that was sort of I don't think they expected it, honestly. I really don't. And I think, yeah, I think they kind of felt like I was a traitor. Like, I think they thought I was there because I think when you like hear journalist, I think they thought I was there for like you to like gather information on them. And I was like, no, I'm from Inside Soap. I'm nice. Don't worry.
We are nice.
Very nice.
Was there anything really traitorous you did? Did you have to try and keep your cover? Did you throw anyone else under the bus?
But yeah, I threw a few people under the bus. I couldn't decide on one. It was we'd sort of thought about before I got there and met them, like whether we should like Hollyoaks should choose somebody for me to throw under the bus and I should like go up. But they were like, oh no, let's just let you feel it out. But there was a few people who were kind of like people were getting suspicious of, and there was like a few, people were saying who they thought. So I was just sort of building on other people's suspicions, I think. But there was one of the fans, loads of people thought it was him. As you'll see in the video, like all the people, lots of people guessed him. And I sort of like refrained from that because I was like, I'm gonna choose other people because I think that looks less suspicious. If I'm like, maybe it isn't him, guys, because I talked to him a lot. So I was kind of playing like good cop, bad cop. I was being a bit like, no, I don't think it's this person, but I think it could be you. So I was like, trying not to annoy too many people.
How would you sum up the whole experience as someone who is genuinely such a big fan of Hollyoaks?
Oh my God, amazing. Like, yeah, because this is the thing. Obviously, I was acting as a super fan, but I am a super fan. Like, I've watched Hollyoaks for years and years, like my whole life, really. And obviously, it was to see everything, to see the set again. I've seen it before, but it's no less amazing. It's no less impressive to like, be involved in the 30th and be involved in like something that is celebrating the 30th. There's like not many people get to say that. And now I do, and like accompanied with all the other things that they've done to really mark this, anniversary. It's crazy that I've been a part of that and that I was allowed to be a part of that. So it was such a great experience. And me and all the fans that were all so lovely, and it was really, really nice. It was a really nice couple of days.
And we have to be careful because, of course, the events of Hollyoaks' 30th blockbuster week is playing out over a couple of weeks. So I won't tell Louisa to say specific things in case it hasn't been on screen yet. But you were on set in amongst a lot of things unfolding at the time, weren't you?
Yes, I saw some very telling things on set, a few different things that I think some of it you might have already seen watching this, but some things that I think are a bit further in the future. But I found out a lot of really good gossip and it's been really hard keeping it to myself. And yeah, it was very impressive. There's a lot of things to really look forward to, I think, for Hollyoaks fans. And I felt very privileged to be able to see that and to be able to like, you know, have that excitement with the crew and be like, oh my gosh, like no one knows about this and we're seeing it.
Because being a Hollyoaks superfan, what's your favourite storyline at the moment or character? I mean, actually, I'd probably know the answer to this, but you should let our audience find out organically.
I mean, we literally talk about this all the time. So you do already know about this. But my favourite character in Hollyoaks is Claire Devine. The return of Claire Devine has been the highlight of the year for me, not just the highlight of the 30th. I love the sort of panto-y villainousness. I love the humor. Like the fact that on screen, when we're filming this right now, we've just seen that she just slept with Perry just to annoy Tom. Hilarious. Like it's just so it's just like you never know what's gonna happen next. And it's just so comedic, yet also just so evil. And like you hate her, but you love her, but like Claire Devine 100% is my favorite character, but also a lot of the stuff in the 30th. I'm really interested in all the Froggy stuff. Froggy's connection to Donnie, all of that. I'm really looking forward to, everything really. I think there's a lot of storylines in the minute that are really, really exciting. A lot of returns, a lot of old characters coming back, and a lot of sort of celebrations of legacy characters too. And obviously the fact that Tony is like the dad of literally everybody in the village, like it's crazy.
The time this comes out, Jez will, of course, have killed one of the 9 that you were in amongst. So what are your feelings about that? Do you feel like that was do you think that was a really good move on Hollyoaks' part to run that competition? And just how's life going to change for that person, really? I mean, it will go down in history as being like a victim of a Hollyoaks serial killer.
Yeah. So obviously now, like at the point we're currently at, we were already seen Hollyoaks have already posted about the top 3, and like the public had that chance to vote for who they think should be killed, like out of the top 3. And already obviously they've, you know, been not like gone viral sort of, and that they've like they're in the public eye now. They're going to be in Hollyoaks history forever. And I think it was such a good move on Hollyoaks' part because no one's ever done something like this before. And they do have such a strong fan base of really passionate fans, as I found out firsthand. And I think to give a fan the opportunity, that's so rare. Like, when do you get the opportunity to be on telly, to be a character in a soap, to get killed off by like the massive villain at the time is such a big opportunity and so crazy. And I think it's so out of the box, but it feels almost like it's crazy that it hasn't happened before. And so I think that was a great move on Hollyoaks' part. And I think obviously whoever it is, you never know. There could be future TV opportunities that could be famous. Let's see.
Hollyoaks loves to bring people back from the dead, so who knows? They
Yes.
could be revived and actually have a part on the show. We never know.
Mm.
Say you had have been in that competition for real and you'd have won and you would have come face to face with the masterful Jeremy Sheffield in his role as Jez. How do you think you would have coped?
Well, I mean, I've met Jeremy Sheffield before, so I think the thing is that it was actually Gemma Bissix who said to me recently, I don't think that you could be an actor because you would get the giggles. I think so, because I'm just always laughing. So I think if I was in that situation and I, came face to face to be killed by Jeremy Sheffield and killed by Jez, I don't think I could keep a straight face. I think it would be too funny. So, I don't know how I would handle that.
If you could have the chance to go undercover on another soap, what one would be next?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe if I could go undercover on, I'll probably go. I don't know. I'll go undercover on Emmerdale. Maybe I feel like there's a lot of really like exciting, dark stuff going on Emmerdale at the minute. So I think it would be really good to go undercover there and sort of. I think I'm really excited about the storylines at Emmerdale at the minute. So I think, and I'd like to go to the Yorkshire Dales. It's kind of near, it's up the north, it's countryside, they're northern. I think I would do that.
Tell me, you started working with us at Inside Soap back in March, and since then you have gone undercover, you've been on photo shoots, been to the Inside Soap Awards, you've done so much in a very short space of time. How would you sum up that experience? And also, what are your family and friends in Newcastle making of your life at the moment?
Um, it's so crazy. The experience on a whole, amazing. Like everything that I've got to do so far has been amazing. Like the awards, obviously, yeah, the photo shoots. I just feel like so much has happened to me in such a short space of time that I'm like, even like growing in confidence in things like photo shoots and awards. And I feel so lucky to be able to like meet all these amazing people that I'm such a fan of, all these soap stars, like be work so closely with all these soaps is amazing. And I've had such a great time. The awards, maybe I had a bit too much of a good time. Because I did fall face first in a pile of goodie bags at one point, but that's another story. But my
No,
friends,
no, Louisa, this is
I got a little bit too drunk at the Inside Soap Awards, and obviously we had our amazing goodie bags with great products in, and we all had them in a taxi, and I didn't have a seatbelt on, which is really bad, and I shouldn't put your seatbelts on, but I was very drunk, and when the car turned a corner, I did fall face first into a pile of goodie bags, and just I don't actually have the memory of this, but apparently I just sort of lay there, which is, I think it really, I mean, it's my first awards. I've got to make an impression.
People have done far worse, so don't worry.
I think it was okay. I think it was fine. I'm glad that I didn't do anything more embarrassing, because that would have been terrible. Yeah, my family and friends, my family are such big soap fans as well. So obviously they're really pleased for me and really enthusiastic about everything I'm doing.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure they love hearing all your stories, and we've really enjoyed listening to you today because, as much as on this podcast we've been talking to, your favorite stars on the show, and you've heard a lot from me and Johnny and me and Chloe kind of discussing the storylines, it's actually really, really cool, like a proper fan's dream to be able to do something like this with Hollyoaks. So I think we'd love to sort of thank Hollyoaks for the opportunity, for letting us get involved with that and allowing us to have some fun with it. We've got an amazing feature that Louisa has written in the magazine, kind of condensing all this for you with some amazing behind the scenes pictures. And I think Hollyoaks are going to tell, their side of the story as well on YouTube, I believe, but we will wait and see what platform that drops on, because spoiler alert, we are filming this in advance of it going out. So we will wait and see. But thank you so much for chatting to us, Louisa, and telling your story.
Thank you, Valerie.
You traitor.
What can I say?